Force yourself to organize your life. Imagine waking up tomorrow and everything in your life is a mess. Your desk, your schedule, even your thoughts. Now imagine flipping a switch and suddenly everything is under control. Today, I'm going to show you how to take that switch into your own hands and force your life into order, starting right now. Discipline over motivation is one of the most misunderstood concepts in personal development. Many people wait for motivation to strike as if it were a magical force that appears when you are ready to take action. They imagine that one day they will feel the surge of energy, the perfect clarity, the unstoppable desire to tackle their goals and transform their lives. But the truth is, motivation is fleeting. It comes in waves, unpredictable and unreliable, often dependent on external circumstances, moods, or temporary bursts of inspiration. If you build your life around motivation alone, you are essentially building a house on sand. The walls may stand for a while, but the foundation is unstable, and eventually the structure will crumble under pressure. Discipline, on the other hand, is the constant, the framework that holds everything together. Discipline is not about waiting to feel like doing something. It is about doing it even when you do not feel like it. It is about creating rules for yourself and adhering to them consistently, regardless of how you feel in the moment. When you choose discipline over motivation, you choose control over chaos. You take your life into your own hands and decide the direction you will go, rather than being tossed around by the unpredictable waves of emotion, temptation, or circumstance. Discipline requires a certain kind of toughness, a willingness to face resistance, procrastination, and distraction head on. It is the ability to commit to a course of action, to follow through even when the initial excitement has faded. It is the muscle that grows stronger each time you resist the urge to give in to excuses or comfort. Every small act of discipline compounds over time. Waking up at the same time every day, even when you want to stay in bed, completing a task before procrastinating, keeping your space, your schedule, and your mind orderly even when chaos surrounds you. These acts may seem minor in isolation, but their cumulative effect is enormous. Discipline builds habits, habits build systems, and systems build lives. Motivation may get you started, but discipline keeps you going. Discipline is what separates people who talk about their dreams from those who achieve them. Think about the most successful people you know or read about. Rarely do they credit a sudden burst of motivation for their accomplishments. They credit habits, routines, and a disciplined approach to their craft, their health, and their relationships. They understand that there will be days when they do not feel like taking action, days when fatigue, doubt, or fear threatens to stop them. On those days, motivation alone is not enough. Discipline becomes their anchor. Another crucial aspect of discipline over motivation is the control it gives you over your future. Motivation can be sporadic, often influenced by how you feel in the present moment, which is shaped by countless uncontrollable factors. Discipline, however, allows you to act in alignment with your long-term goals regardless of immediate feelings. It transforms your life from reactionary to proactive. You no longer wait for the right mood or the perfect moment. You create your own timing, your own momentum, and your own results. It also changes the way you perceive challenges. Motivation often fades in the face of obstacles because it is emotional and external. Discipline thrives in adversity because it is rooted in decision, commitment, and internal strength. When you choose discipline, you embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. You learn to push past resistance, to endure through monotony, and to persist when results are slow. Over time, this persistence compounds into massive progress that motivation alone could never sustain. Discipline also strengthens self-trust. When you consistently follow through on commitments to yourself, you build confidence in your ability to deliver, to overcome, and to achieve. This trust becomes the foundation for every other success in your life. You stop relying on external validation or fleeting bursts of inspiration because you know you have the inner fortitude to act regardless of circumstances. In practical terms, embracing discipline over motivation means designing your life in a way that minimizes reliance on fleeting feelings. It means setting specific goals, creating daily routines, and holding yourself accountable. It means doing the work even when it is uncomfortable, boring, or inconvenient. The small sacrifices you make in the moment, resisting distractions, prioritizing important tasks, following through consistently, compound into a life that feels organized, controlled, and purposeful. Discipline is also about boundaries. It teaches you to say no to things that do not serve your goals, to resist the allure of shortcuts, and to maintain focus even when chaos surrounds you. It allows you to allocate your time, energy, and attention intentionally rather than letting circumstances dictate your actions. Many people underestimate the power of this kind of structured consistency because they are enamored with the idea of sudden breakthroughs, dramatic inspiration, or overnight success. But real transformation, lasting transformation, is rarely explosive. It is incremental, built one disciplined choice at a time, until those choices accumulate into massive momentum that carries you forward. Discipline over motivation also applies to your mind, not just your actions. It means training your thoughts, focusing your attention, and reframing negative patterns. Motivation can inspire temporary bursts of positivity, but disciplined thinking allows you to maintain clarity, resilience, and forward motion even when challenges arise. Finally, embracing discipline over motivation is an act of empowerment. It is a declaration that you are not at the mercy of circumstance, mood, or fleeting inspiration. You take responsibility for your actions, your habits, and ultimately your life. You understand that motivation may be unreliable, but your decisions, your consistency, and your disciplined approach are always within your control. It is a mindset that transforms not just what you do, but who you are, and it sets the stage for a life that is intentional, organized, and unstoppable. Systems beat willpower is a principle that often separates those who struggle to achieve consistency in life from those who seem to accomplish their goals effortlessly. Willpower is like a battery. It depletes with use. Every decision, every moment of resistance, every temptation you overcome draws from this finite resource. If you rely solely on willpower to get things done, you are essentially gambling with your energy. There will be days when it runs out, and on those days, your habits, goals, and progress are at the mercy of circumstance. Systems, on the other hand, are the scaffolding that allows you to succeed regardless of whether your willpower is full or empty. Systems are deliberate processes, routines, and structures designed to guide your actions automatically toward your desired outcomes. They remove the need to rely on fleeting mental energy or motivation and instead embed success into the fabric of your daily life. When you create systems, you are designing an environment where the right actions happen naturally, almost by default. Consider the simplest example, a morning routine. Someone who relies on willpower alone might wake up and decide each day whether to exercise, read, or plan their day. Some mornings, they will feel motivated and succeed. Other mornings, exhaustion, distraction, or temptation will derail them. Someone with a system, however, has a fixed routine. The alarm goes off. They follow a sequence of actions. They prepare their environment so that resistance is minimized. The outcome is almost guaranteed, not because of heroic effort, but because the system itself carries them through. Systems multiply your effectiveness because they allow you to conserve willpower for moments that truly require decision making, creativity, or problem solving. By automating the predictable parts of life, you free your mind to focus on high impact tasks rather than wasting energy on repeated decisions. This is why people who design effective systems can achieve more with less effort. Another crucial aspect of systems is that they reduce friction and remove reliance on motivation. Motivation is unreliable, as we know, and willpower fluctuates. Systems are neutral, they operate consistently regardless of your mood, feelings, or external circumstances. When a system is in place, progress becomes predictable, and outcomes are no longer left to chance. The power of systems also lies in their ability to create compounding results. Just as small, disciplined actions accumulate over time, well-designed systems amplify this effect. For example, a system for learning could include reading a set number of pages daily, taking notes, reviewing progress weekly, and testing knowledge monthly. Each small action is simple and repeatable, but together they create exponential growth over time. Without the system, learning would be inconsistent and heavily dependent on your fluctuating willpower. Systems also provide clarity. When you have a structured process in place, you know exactly what to do next. There is no guesswork, no paralysis by analysis, no wasted energy debating your next move. This clarity itself reduces stress, increases focus, and boosts confidence because you can trust the process and trust yourself to follow it. One of the most effective systems in life is habit stacking. By attaching new desired behaviors to existing habits, you leverage automatic triggers to make new actions easier. For example, if you already brush your teeth every morning, attaching a 1-minute meditation, a glass of water, or a journaling session immediately afterward turns a simple habit into a gateway for multiple beneficial actions. This is how systems work. They make success the path of least resistance. Systems also allow for flexibility and adaptation without breaking momentum. A rigid reliance on willpower means that any disruption, a missed day, a sudden obstacle, or fatigue can cause the entire plan to fail. Systems, however, are designed to be resilient. They can accommodate adjustments, setbacks, or interruptions while still keeping you on track toward your goals. Another critical advantage of systems over willpower is that they create accountability. Systems often include checkpoints, tracking mechanisms, or measurable steps that make progress visible. This visibility reinforces consistency, provides feedback, and helps you refine the system for even greater efficiency. When you rely solely on willpower, accountability is internal and subjective, making it easy to rationalize shortcuts or procrastination. Systems also enhance focus by reducing the cognitive load required for decision-making. Every time you decide whether to act, you expend mental energy. Systems automate these decisions, reserving your mental bandwidth for complex, creative, or strategic thinking. By reducing decision fatigue, systems make it easier to maintain high performance throughout the day. Moreover, systems encourage consistency even when motivation falters. Motivation may ignite initial action, but without systems, progress is unsustainable. Systems ensure that action continues day after day, even when the excitement fades or challenges arise. This is how ordinary effort turns into extraordinary results. Consider the difference between a person who tries to force themselves through sheer willpower versus someone who designs systems for productivity, learning, health, and relationships. The former will experience bursts of effort, often followed by burnout or inconsistency. The latter will experience continuous, reliable progress, often exceeding what their initial willpower might suggest. Systems also foster long-term thinking. They help you focus on sustainable practices rather than quick fixes. A system for health, for example, emphasizes daily habits, balanced nutrition, and regular exercise rather than temporary crash diets or sporadic workouts. Over time, these systems create lasting results that outpace any short-term motivation. The key to effective systems is simplicity and alignment with your goals. Overcomplicating systems or creating ones that do not match your values, abilities, or resources will only create frustration and failure. A system should make the desired action easy, intuitive, and almost automatic. It should reduce reliance on willpower, not increase it. Implementing systems also builds confidence. Each time the system guides you to complete a task, you reinforce trust in the process and in yourself. This trust compounds, creating momentum, clarity, and a sense of mastery over your life. In essence, systems are the framework that allow humans to succeed consistently despite the natural limitations of willpower and fluctuating motivation. They transform effort into predictable outcomes, chaos into order, and potential into achievement. By focusing on designing and following systems, you ensure that your life moves forward regardless of external distractions, emotional states, or temporary obstacles.